same thing.
You bet.
All right, Quentin, welcome. Good to see you again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, folks, we have done these guitars before, and we're doing them again because we love them. They're amazing. So, Yamaha FG5, FS5. FG is the, what we call the Dreadnought. It stands for folk guitar. FS stands for folk small body. And the 5 is the model number for these. These are made in Japan, all solid wood. Like I said, we've done a few different versions of these videos, but we haven't actually done the two side by side. So you've got the two body shapes.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to compare them. It's not that,
Not better or worse, but
yeah,
just
it's not better or worse.
get-
It's what do you need?
These are going to be, the same tops and backs and sides, so it's really going to be the body shape that you're going to
Yeah.
hear the difference from.
Yeah.
And these have such a dedicated following, and particularly good. Now, these are red label, right? And that has a
They call them
significance
the red label, yeah.
compared to other Yamaha.
In the 60s, they had a run of, famous guitars that they built in the 60s, and they had that red label. You still see them today. People will come in with their mother's guitar, their, grandpa's guitar, and then it's been passed down, and these things are still around, and they're still good, and they're great guitars. So they redid basically,
The instruments, trying to capture that classic.
trying to capture that,
Yeah.
and kind of a dedication to those great guitars of the 60s.
Well, I could say in the intro there, in the seconds really that I had them in my hands,
Yeah.
you can understand why they have such a loyal following.
Yeah.
They play great. They really play well, and and just my ear, and hopefully you'll make your own opinion. Your own decision about what you think of the sound. But I think they sound wonderful, particularly when you consider that these are not the highest end
Right. They're
guitars.
not-
They're firmly in the middle.
Yeah.
But they have a great.
Everything about them is.
It's what you get as far as sound, quality, construction, compared to the price. I think I'd say it's almost unrivaled.
I'd say so too. I think it's a class of its own, and
Yeah.
these have been really hard to get. Especially this year, of course, with the disruptions around the
And
world.
supply chain.
But
I got a question for you. I'm
yeah.
going to put you on the spot.
ARE.
Yeah,
I know because
exactly
I
what
can
is-
see it
you
says
can-
ARE on the braces there.
It does.
ARE, that's their torrefication process that
Okay.
they do. So, and I believe they do it on all the wood, not just the top. But ARE, acoustic resonance or something. It's like
Enhancement, yeah.
it's an aging kind of type of process. I don't know the details of it, but
It's kind of cool. It's just an interesting logo because
Yeah.
it's got the capital A.R.E.
Yeah.
and then it's got these little curves that are
Yeah.
sound waves. You can see it's.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever
and I don't know
it
if
is,
it's through a vibration. A lot of times people age tops through a vibration. Some do it through like a cooking process, where they kind of heat it up. And
I
do
heard
different
this would be a
things.
great question to throw out to the community if you're watching. When I was growing up, my father, who we grew up with a lot of wives' tales about why you do certain things with your instruments, but he would say, back in the days when we had speakers,
big loud speakers,
like big, speakers
big
that
home
were
stereos,
furniture,
yes.
and he would take his guitar and the speaker would be on the ground and he'd lean it against it and he
Yep.
would just let it sit there while the stereo was playing. And the theory was, and again, if you actually know what the rationale is or if this is all just BS, the idea was that the wood is kind of loose, right?
Yep.
Or that it's got space, but as it gets tighter,
Yeah,
it locks in and then it resonates better.
I would say almost the.
It's
I was
like
going to say the opposite. It's
Mhm.
almost tight, and then as it
it
breaks
loosens
down,
up.
then
Okay.
it loosens up.
So there you go. So that there.
But I saw a thing. You kind of look under a microscope
Mhm.
in the pores
see
of the
the
wood. It's kind of like
cells,
a honeycombish.
Yep.
And you can see in there, and then after, and you look at an aged one,
And
it's
they're
definitely
compressing a
different,
little
yeah.
bit or something. Or okay.
Every kid I know had a huge, massive speaker system.
Yeah.
I had one in my
Mhm.
bedroom, like
Oh, yeah.
speakers that were this big, and
Furniture.
I just and that's how the '80s were. Like, I would be down there cranking my records. I'm like surprised my mom didn't just kill me. Maybe she did. Maybe she
Yeah.
she
See, what I
screamed at me
picture
a
is
lot.
Paul with his long, greasy hair and kid like just banging his head to pour some sugar on me or something.
I had
you know.
posters all over the walls and cranking up the stereo. It was awesome.
Nice. Well, I mean,
But I didn't have a
too.
guitar leaning against it. I wish I would have.
Well, that's that's what my father was saying was that you lean it there
Yeah.
and the vibration
Yeah.
it does something with the wood
It does.
fibers to make it more resonant, and that it mimics this
Yeah.
aging process that would
Totally.
naturally occur just through playing. But if you're inducing that
Yeah.
movement on the top,
It does work. There's definitely no doubt about it. The more you play a guitar, it does change. The tops do change. There's no doubt about it.
so here's another question: is like, would the tonal profile and aging of the guitar change based on the frequencies you subject it to?
Ooh,
What if it was all bass versus mid-range, or does that really matter?
right.
People out there, if you guys are nerding out on this
You
and you
can
have
get-
any information, please share it in the comments because I'm curious. I
So,
really am.
People really will get into that kind of stuff, and I'm really more like you could have 5 of these, okay, and you could do all that stuff to them. They're
Yeah.
all going to be different. Everyone's
Yeah.
going to like a different one. It-
Well, it's like raising
Yeah.
twins, right?
yeah,
It's you've got the nature and nurture
yeah, True.
aspect. So we're coming in with the nature, and how you nurture it's
Right.
going to have an impact,
Right.
as we were going to discuss with some of these Brazilian.
and it's
wood
always hard to
guitars.
say one's better than the other when everyone has a different set of
No,
ears.
it's very clearly that the Dreadnought is much better than the smaller body because it's got a bass to it. This one's really cool though,
It is
as
cool.
I was saying.
So you're going to need a guitar for different things, right? Ultimately, you would have both of these. But some people, maybe their arm hurts when they play that one. Some people might, it just depends on what you need and what you want. If you're singing, if you're doing this and that, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, you'd want both. Ultimately, you also need a J200 in there, okay?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And a vintage Brazilian
Yeah.
backsides Martin, of course.
mini guitars. Mini guitars. You need.
Well, I hear the Powerball and Mega Millions are up over 400 million. So
Ooh.
buy your tickets and then come
And then just buy the whole store from them.
build your guitar museum. That's
Yeah.
what I would have to do, something like that.
Yep. All right,
Anyway,
well, that's cool.
yeah,
Well,
the
these are good.
Yamahas, the
We love them.
FG
We
and
finally
the
have a few more in
FS5s.
stock. We are dedicated to these as far as we keep them on order all the time. And
Yeah, if you haven't played one, check it out because it really is. They play really well. They sound great and they're affordable.
bang for the buck.
Yeah, great
You
kind
can't go
of
wrong.
step up from guitars if you're struggling to keep them in tune or intonation or whatever issues. This is going to put you in a class where you're not going to fight your guitar and you're going to have a really great sound.
All right, so that's the Red Label Yamahas.
FG5, FS5,
Yep.
great bang for the buck.
Love them. Thanks for watching, everyone.